Mobile detailing just doesn't stop in the United States. It's a worldwide thing.
Yes, and I communicate with people from other countries. Most of it is through obviously in our own country, but I communicate with people Belgium, Germany, Australia, Switzerland, Sweden, Canada. I mean, just go down the list. I mean, people from everywhere that want to do detailing. Great Britain. So it really is a worldwide theme. But with that said, is that there's certain countries that embrace detailing and really taking care of their cars more than other countries. United States, Great Britain, Australia and Germany seem to be countries that kind of have a higher level of fascination towards their cars. So it lends itself to having a business versus guys in other countries where they look around and realize people just don't really care about their cars cosmetically. Even though they have this passion to clean and detail them, they realize that their market really is not suited for it. So fortunately for me, I happen to live in a place of the United States, never mind California and Southern California, which, you know, in many ways is car capital of the world. You know, I mean, in my county, I mean, you see nothing but new cars all over the road. I mean, people are willing to buy new cars. That doesn't mean they're all willing to spend money to maintain them cosmetically, because at a level, Southern California is very superficial that way. So as long as they're driving the new car, a lot of people, that's where it stops. And that's what's kind of the incongruency to other guys in the country. And they think, oh, Darren, you've got it made. You're in Southern California. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And at a casual observation, it makes sense. But the reality is that's not how it plays out. Most people really, they're living. I think it'd be a rude awakening for people to realize how many people truly live almost paycheck to paycheck, even though they're living in a really nice house, driving really nice cars, taking really nice vacations. So taking care of their car cosmetically is not at the top of that list. And that's what is confusing to guys that have been to California. They think, wow, Darren, it couldn't get any better than that. Is there lots of opportunity? Absolutely. But it is misleading in a lot of ways.
So let me ask you, how far have you gotten as far as instructional videos, teaching material?
Well, the simple answer is pretty far, and I have two platforms for that. One is my YouTube channel, which gets a lot of traffic, and that's a more comprehensive tutorial, because unlike just my website, the Best Auto Detailing Tips website, that's got everything written out, and it's got some pictures. It's very comprehensive, but when you actually get to see a video of someone doing something in action, you know, the old proverbial, a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, how many words is a video worth then? If you get to see someone actually using a buffer or cleaning leather upholstery or shampooing carpeting, it's more of, it's a greater resource.
Okay, so do you think about 30-minute videos, that's easily digestible for someone? They're willing 30 minutes at a time?
Well, you know what? It really is a case by case. For a guy that's trying to get into the business, that really wants to understand how it's done, they don't mind watching a 30-minute video. But when it comes to society at large, we have the attention span of a 2-year-old. Sure. We want the Cliff Note version of everything. It's the drive-through mentality is what it is. I'm too lazy to get out of my car. All I want is my food, so I'm willing to sit in my car, listen to my radio, and wait in this line so I can get my fast food to go. That's what the world is groomed to respond to. So a lot of people look at my videos, but these are more the do-it-yourselfers. They've got an immediate problem, like, oh, my leather. I suddenly decide that the leather in my car is dirty. I need to learn how to clean it. I'm going to go onto YouTube and see. And it's like, oh, wow, this Darren character, he's got 10 videos on how to clean leather, and he shows me what products to use, but his videos are 15, 20, 30 minutes long. It's like, Darren, can you just show me how to do it? I mean, how hard could it be? Well, that's the grossly oversimplified world that we live in. It's like, well, I can show you the product I use, and I can show you that you just grab a scrub brush, spray it, and scrub it and wipe it up. Okay, but that's a gross oversimplification, because it's like, well, wait a minute. Not all leather's created equal. Not all leather seats are going to be the same level of dirt. So it's going to be a case by case. So it requires more in-depth learning, and therefore a longer video in order to fully explain that process to someone. So it's really hard to condense that into a short little 2-minute or 5-minute or 10-minute video sometimes.
Right now, but when your goal is, or if you have the goal to give a certification of sorts, to be able to give credible knowledge that someone can actually go and get certified as an automobile detailer, that helps as far as credibility goes. Whereas you can, like, hands-on is a lot easier, obviously, if you can verify someone has certain skills. And you were saying that, yeah.
That's a good point, because a lot of beginners get hung up because they lack the experience, they lack the self-confidence at the beginning because they're new and they're just inexperienced. And so they want to overcompensate because of that lack of experience and confidence. And so this is what there's certain things that they will try to do to overcompensate. And that's one of them, is that they will join these clubs. Like, there's an association called the International Detailing Association, the IDA.
Is it
And you
worth
can
it?
pay, what's that?
Is it worth it?
Well, that's what I'm getting at, is that you pay them money and they'll send you a sticker, they'll send you a certificate, but really it's pointless, because 99.9% of the world doesn't even know it exists. Only if you're in the business do you know it exists. There is no standardized testing or certification process for detailing. So the rest of the world, it's really irrelevant. And that's what a lot of guys don't realize, is they kind of get hung up on this credibility. It's like, oh, I went through McGuire's training, or I went through Rennie Doyle's training, or I've been certified by the IDA and I've got a certificate that I carry around with me. It's like, well, guess what? In 27 years, I've never had a single customer ask me, am I certified? Not even one. So if that's the case, then why would I need to sign up for just an artificial organization or association that does not teach me any formal training? Essentially, what it can be reduced down to is I pay them money, they print out a certificate with my name on it, they send me a sticker that I can put on my mobile van or whatever I'm working out of, and somehow that's going to announce to the world that I am better or more credible, and therefore you want to use me over the other guy that's driving down the freeway and he doesn't have an IDA sticker on his van.
No,
They don't even know what that is.
Your van doesn't say anything about being certified.
No, not nowhere on my website does it even say that.
You're just the best.
There's no standardized, it's not like passing the bar if you're an attorney.
Right.
Or it's not even like the general contracting world where they have endless forms of licenses, you know, very specific, like an electrical contractor. You've got pipe fitters, you've got different types of welding, you've got cement, you've got all these different niches that have a very specific certification process that you have to pass, and then you have to be licensed through the state. And so detailing is nothing like that.
Right. A
And
certificate is completely different from certification. Do you think that any one of those people that give these courses are worth it at all?
yes, I do, but that's only for the very specific nuts and bolts of detailing, which is how do I polish a car? How do I use a buffer? How do I clean carpeting or whatever? So as far as the hands-on, how do I technically do it, and what product do I use to do it? Absolutely is it important. But with the with modern technology, you can learn that anywhere. And this is part of my YouTube channel. I teach so much of this stuff for free. They can watch, you know, I have about 200 videos. They could literally spend the time watching those videos, and they would know more than I did in the first 5 years of being in business myself. And so if they could get through those 200 videos in, let's say, a week, and they would buy the products that I literally use today, they would have just circumvented 5 years of what I went through the hard way just by watching YouTube.
Okay, so how much are you willing to give away versus sell? And where is that border? Where is that line?
And that's a good question. And I have no hard line, because really, to me, I accept the reality of technology, which is that between reading books, and there's some detailing books of how to operate a business, how to do polishing, and YouTube, I accept that really a person can learn this just about anywhere. So I'm willing to give away pretty much 80 to 90% of what I know for free, put it that way.
Okay.
But what I want guys to know is that running a business and being successful and being profitable is really the more greater question and difficulty, because how to polish a car can be learned rather easily.
Right. Okay. So that makes sense. So as far as your philosophy on that, your information on that, what type of information do you have as far as running a business?
Well, this is where I call it chumming the waters. So in my videos, I talk about certain things that are more what I call the intangible parts of running a business and detailing. Is how do you communicate to the customer who is very ignorant? How do you pull the information out of them in order to deliver their expectations? Because a customer, most of them, don't have the ability to express and communicate what they really want. They have this kind of hazy vision in their head as to what detailing is and what they want their car to look like, but it's pretty hazy and ambiguous. So me, having been in the business so long, I know and I accept this general rule. And so that's where I teach guys how to talk to a customer, and they need to accept the foundational rules, which is most customers don't know what detailing really is. They don't know how to ask the right questions. And if that is the case, and if you as a business owner don't know how to pull that information out of them, then how are you going to deliver upon their expectations? And if you can't deliver upon those expectations because you haven't defined them, then you will fail, and you will not get a return customer unless you go overboard and you over deliver to the point that you are not profitable anymore. And what you will find in that case is that you will work yourself into the ground. You will not make a profit, and you'll end up being used up, upset, frustrated, bitter, and you give up because you didn't understand all the other nuances of running a business, because you didn't even understand the basic essentials of what I call just human nature. So I teach a lot of this in my videos, but I don't teach all of it. This is where I pull back a little bit and I just kind of chum the waters and kind of announce to these guys, it's like, hey, by the way, you can learn all the techniques and product either at my channel or 10 other different channels. So pick and choose, learn what you want. But I've got some kind of bad news, which is there's far more to a detailing business than just how to buff a car or how to detail it. You know, how do you build efficiencies into your system?
That's
Why
really
do you even
points? That's really, I like the way you're going about saying that. And then what's your next step?
Well, my next step is, you know, with my YouTube channel is to really a lot of it is just to establish credibility with myself, where people can learn to trust Darren, that he will be their go-to person because they know that Darren is going to give them a very candid, honest answer. He's also been in the business long enough where he's developed ways to be more efficient, and that's important because efficiency also equals profitability.
Okay, and how does that translate into profitability for you? Minus your physical products, electronic products, downloadable products.
Well,
Besides YouTube.
Yeah, that's a work in progress. So
okay.
I accept that I need to build a foundation of what I call social evidence or social proof, social credibility, and establish myself as just a credible resource for people to go to that want to get into the business.